In the headlines, 8 persons reportedly killed in fresh plateau attack. Reps suggest establishment of 1 CBT center per local government. Nigeria's inflation rate drops to 23.71% in April 2025 amid slowing price growth. And on the foreign scene, South Sudan government denies death of president after social media outcry. Hello and welcome to Trust TV's news update. I am Hawa Adamikiawa. No fewer than 8 persons, including women, were reportedly killed on Wednesday night during an attack in Weren Camp, community of Uriom local government area of Plateau State. The latest attack came hours after more than 100 cattle and a herder were allegedly killed in Gero and Darwat, communities of Jos South and Uriom local government areas of the state. Residents also said 1 person was injured while more than 20 houses were burned down during the incident, adding that the injured one is currently receiving treatment at a hospital. The president of Birom Youth Molders Association, Daliop Solomon, confirmed the incident on Thursday, accusing the Fulani ethnic group of launching the attack. However, the leadership of Miete Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN, has debunked the accusations, describing them as unfounded. The House of Representatives has called for the establishment of at least 1 computer-based testing center in each of the 774 local government areas of the country for the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME. The lawmakers made the resolution during plenary on Thursday following the admission by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, that there were glitches in this year's examination. According to the lawmakers, the move would help forestall future recurrence. The House also called for calm in the wake of JAM's admission to errors in the 2025 UTME. Last month, the Senate mulled a similar resolution, saying there will be budgetary provisions in the 2026 fiscal year for the establishment of CBT centers across the 774 local government areas of the country. Meanwhile, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general elections, Peter Obi, has commended the registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, Ishak Oloyede, for admitting to glitches in the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, but said such errors should be avoided in the future. Oloyede had in a admission while fighting back tears said some errors affected candidates' performance in the examination, which was conducted across the country earlier in the year. Obi, while lauding Oloyede for admitting to the mistakes, said efforts should be made to prevent a similar recurrence. The former Anambra State governor said JAM's willingness to own up to its shortcomings is worthy of recognition, but noted sadly that the incident has brought to light a far more troubling reality, which is the persistent fragility of institutional systems. He called on JAM and other similar agencies to adopt comprehensive quality assurance frameworks. The LP chieftain listed these to include rigorous testing and constant auditing of technical infrastructure, asking for transparent communication with candidates and stakeholders, among others, as essential to restoring public confidence. Nigeria's headline inflation dropped to 23.71% in April relative to the March 2025 headline inflation rate of 24.23%. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, the April 2025 headline inflation rate showed a decrease of 0.52% compared to the March 2025 headline inflation rate. It stated that on a year-on-year basis, the headline inflation rate was 9.99%, lower than the rate recorded in April 2024, which is 33.69%. This means that in April 2025, the rate of increase in the average price level is lower than the rate of increase in the average price level in March 2025. It added that food inflation rate in April 2025 was 21.26% on a year-on-year basis, adding that the significant decline in the food annual inflation figure is technically due to the change in the base year. But on month-on-month basis, the food inflation rate in April 2025 was 2.06%, down by 0.12% compared to March 2025, which is 2.18%. Moving on, as Nigeria faces ongoing economic uncertainty and escalating insecurity, a prominent youth organization is calling on citizens to remain hopeful and actively contribute to national development. The group is also advocating for the adoption of modern technologies, particularly artificial intelligence, as a strategic tool to enhance the fight against terrorism and crime. The report.
In response to persistent economic and security challenges, a Nigerian youth organization is urging renewed optimism and active engagement, especially among the youth. According to the group, this national trial represents a critical phase in the journey towards lasting stability and growth.
Presently, not only the youth, the mindset of the youth, the mindset of every Nigerian is bad because our economy and social activities are diminishing by the day. But I know that there is hope for this country. For us to achieve a better Nigeria, we must pass through this process we are passing through. It's not magic. Developed countries went through this process, and we should expect that we will go through this process. All we need is focus, assisting government to get policies right, assisting government to get execution right. I think that's the role as youth I want us to play. They are our leaders. All what we need to do is to proactively criticize policies that are not pro-Nigerians, proactively support those policies that will enhance our country. Most importantly, if this government can solve the issues of insecurity, President Tinubu would have done the best for Nigerians.
Basic things of life. Go to many communities, they don't have lights. They are living in darkness. Go to many communities today, they don't have source of income. Their water is being polluted by crude oil. So if the government comes to their aid by giving them job, by creating an enabling environment, insecurity will be reduced. Just as I said, what of they graduate, they finish school, they don't have source of income. If after the youth service, you continue paying them salary until they find a job, I think they will use that money to invest and be useful in society. Where a graduate graduates and has nothing to do, the devil will set in. So he may indulge into any activity that he feels he can take care of himself.
As insecurity and violent crime surge across the country, technology expert Olushola Ayola, alongside other stakeholders, is urging the federal government to integrate artificial intelligence into Nigerian security framework. The urge that AI can significantly enhance the efficiency and responsiveness of security operations.
Then with AI, it's about smart vision, being able to quickly intercept any attack coming just by using computer cameras that can see far and interpret very quickly. It's about being able to predict the trend when you have, movements around the neighborhood, let's say in the rural area, let's say around schools in the remote areas, that people looking around are trying to kidnap the students. We're using cameras in different strategic locations. One can already know that from where's the patterns these people are moving, there might be an attack, and then we can quickly, call for backup.
From empowering youth to adopting intelligent security technologies, the message is clear. The time for action is now. This is even as stakeholders believe that for Nigeria to navigate its most pressing challenges, unity between the people and the government is essential.
Moving on, the Court of Appeal Abuja has reserved judgment in 3 appeals and a cross-appeal challenging the outcome of the September 21st governorship election held in Edo State, in which the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, declared Monday Okpebholo of the All Progressives Congress, APC, as winner. A three-man panel of the court presided over by Justice Muhammad Danjuma reserved the date to be communicated to the parties after their final arguments. The appeals heard include the one filed by the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and its candidate in the election, Aswe Igodalo, and a cross-appeal by the APC and Okpebholo. Two other appeals were also heard, one filed by Action Alliance, AA, and its national chairman, Rufai Omoaje, and another filed by One Bright Enabulele and Accord Party, AP. The Kaduna Zonal Directorate of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has secured the conviction and sentence of one content creator on TikTok and Instagram, Muhammad Kabir, before Justice Rilwan Aikawa of the Federal High Court sitting in Kaduna for abusing and mutilating the naira. Kabir was arrested on Tuesday, April 29, 2025, at Tidunwada, Kaduna State, for making a video on his TikTok and Instagram while spraying the naira notes on the floor, stepping on them, and making utterances in Hausa language and daring the EFCC to come and arrest him in his known location. He was subsequently arrested for violating the Central Bank of Nigeria Act, which prohibits the abuse and mutilation of the naira. The defendant pleaded guilty to the charge when it was read to him, prompting the prosecution counsel, M.U. Gadaka, to pray the court to convict and sentence him accordingly. Justice Aikawa, however, sentenced Muhammad to 6 months imprisonment and to pay a fine of the sum of 300,000 naira to the federal government of Nigeria. The Inspector General of Police has rearranged social media influencer Martin Otse, known as Very Dark Man, VDM, before Justice Musa Liman of the Federal High Court in Abuja over allegations of cyberbullying actresses Iyabo Ojo, Tonto Dike, and music producer Samcliffe Ogwachuba. Otse was rearraigned on a 5-count charge bordering on cyberstalking and the alleged dissemination of offensive content through his social media platforms. He, however, pleaded not guilty to all charges. His counsel, Deji Adeyanju, prayed the court to allow the defendant to continue on the earlier bail granted by Justice Mobolaji Olajuwon of a sister court. The prosecution counsel, representing the Inspector General of Police, Victor Okoye, did not oppose the application. Justice Liman subsequently admitted the defendant to the previous bail terms and adjourned the matter until 24th July 2025 for the commencement of the trial. You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. Poultry farmers struggle as middlemen dictate egg prices. More news when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. 8 persons reportedly killed in fresh plateau attack. And reps suggest establishment of 1 CBT center per local government. Moving on to more stories. As egg prices continue to fall for farmers due to a seasonal glut, concerns are mounting that Nigerian middlemen are capturing a significant portion of the profits at the expense of both farmers and consumers. Our correspondent spoke with key stakeholders who shared the concerns of farmers, many of whom are now considering reducing investment in egg production or abandoning the business altogether, a trend that could pose a threat to egg availability in the long run. The report.
Eggs are a vital economic indicator as they reflect several factors in the food supply chain, including inflation, production costs, supply chain efficiency, and consumer demand. In Nigeria, a seasonal glut has driven down the price of eggs, but reports suggest that middlemen are reaping more benefits than either the producers or consumers. Gideon Oyeku, an egg farmer, describes egg production as a potentially lucrative business, but not without challenges. These include high operational costs and exploitative practices of middlemen.
We have this kind of experience too. Sometimes there was a point that we had to crash the price of the eggs because of the fact that the people are no longer, seeing it as something that they want to continue putting their money into because they feel like they are not getting the required profit from it again. And this is because of the fact that we have middlemen that are not faithful enough, to let these people know that this is the price. Even if they are going to add anything, it should be reasonable enough. So I can say yes, we are also experiencing this issue of middlemen of a thing having to increase the price higher than that of the price that they are getting it from the farm.
An economic expert, Dr. Raymond Ao, explains that price manipulation within the value chain leads to unfair trade practices, which reduce farmers' profit margins and inflate consumer prices.
It's going to increase unemployment in the market, reduce the income levels of families, and perpetuate poverty in the system, thereby reducing the growth level of such an economy because the productive capacity will be reduced and the capacity utilization in terms of industrial processes will also be reduced.
He warns that a decline or shutdown in local egg production could lead to increased importation, which would put further pressure on Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves, driving up the exchange rate and weakening the national currency.
Private sector is also encouraged to come into play. However, the government must take the leading role by ensuring that enabling environment laws are created that support such investment. Two, that regulatory frameworks are also put in place to ensure that investors are not shortchanged. Therefore, they are encouraged to invest in such sectors and ensure that the right thing is done for the farmers.
Some egg retailers say their prices reflect operational costs. They emphasize the need to avoid losses while still retaining their customer base.
We are buying 5,000. We sell 5,300. Because most of the time we use our vehicle to go there and buy it and fuel the vehicle and come back. If I get a lower price, it will make me reduce more price to sell.
How much profit are we gaining? If they bring it, we use wheelbarrow, we buy leaders, we pay things before even bringing it to the shop. So now, what are we making from even the sales? We don't even make up to 500 from a crate. The truth is, we can't sell lesser than what we got from. We can't get lesser.
Meanwhile, some consumers confirm that egg prices remain high despite the glut. They link the trend to the overall high cost of living in Nigeria and urge stakeholders to ensure fair pricing that benefits end users.
In fact, there is no fixed price for the egg. They have two sizes of egg, the big size and the small size. The small size, as a consumer, I buy one from the retailers at the price of 200 naira. They sell the big one at 250. Some people even sell it for 300.
I buy in crates and sometimes counts. Actually, if you look at the pricing, when you buy in crates, is a bit fair. But when you buy one, they are selling one egg for 300 naira, which is really on the high side.
Experts believe the government has a key role to play by supporting farmers and implementing price regulation measures to protect all players in the value chain.
In another story, Governor Agbu Kefas of Taraba State has charged intending pilgrims from the state to pray fervently for Nigeria and its leaders while in Saudi Arabia. Kefas gave the charge during his farewell address to the 2025 intending pilgrims in Jalingo on Wednesday. Represented by the Commissioner of Science and Technology, Muslim Arwan, the governor also implored the intending pilgrims to be good ambassadors of the state and indeed the nation at large while in the Holy Land. He further urged them to encourage peaceful coexistence between Muslims and Christians as creations of one God, whom all shall return to. In his remarks, the Taraba State 2025 Emir al-Hajj, who is also the Banti Zing Suleiman Ibrahim Sambo, thanked Governor Kefas for appointing them to lead the state's team to the Holy Land for providing all the necessary logistics to the board for its operation and pledged not to fail in their assignment.
Taraba State government has appointed for you a powerful delegation and with people with impeccable characters. as your Amirul Hajj team under the leadership of Pantizin, His Royal Highness Al-Haji Suleiman Ibrahim Sambo, to look after your welfare in conjunction with officials of the Pilgrim Board. The government has also appointed other officials, including medical teams, with enough funds to purchase your drug in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to look after your health.
It is my singular honor and privilege to stand before you this esteemed gathering when His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Taraba State, Dr. Abu Kefas, will bid farewell to 2023 pilgrims to Saudi Arabia. Invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, performance of Hajj is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, which becomes obligatory upon every Muslim, male or female, who is mentally, financially, and physically fit at least once in a lifetime. Therefore, we expect our intending pilgrims to exhibit a sense of humility, maturity, have fear of God, and also avoid carrying any contraband items into the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, as their laws are very stiff on offenders.
Please, for having the real opportunity to welcome His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Taraba State, and to Abu Kefas and other distinguished personalities to this important occasion, for bidding farewell to 25 intending pilgrims to Saudi Arabia. I would like to first and foremost use this opportunity to honestly thank His Excellency and Executive Governor of Taraba State for appointing me as this year's Amirul Hajj. Your Excellency, sir, this appointment is not only an honor done to me and the traditional institutions, but a booster that will enable me to continue putting my best for the progress and development of our dear state.
Moving on to business, oil prices sank on Thursday as hopes rise for an Iran nuclear breakthrough after Donald Trump said a deal was getting close, as United States media reported Tehran had indicated it could be open to curbs on its atomic program. The remarks from the United States president came after the two sides on Sunday held their 4th round of talks that began last month and represented the highest level contact since Trump in 2018 pulled out of a 3-year-old deal. Speaking in Qatar as part of his multi-day tour of the Gulf, Trump voiced optimism at avoiding a military strike on Tehran's nuclear sites. Both main crude contracts sank more than 3%. The commodity had already been falling on Thursday on signs Iran could agree to certain demands. Away from Nigeria, South Sudan's government on Thursday denied that President Salva Kiir had died following online speculations. The long-serving 73-year-old leader, who has long been dogged by rumors of ill health, has however been pictured in recent months meeting visiting dignitaries and ordering a series of dramatic government reshuffles. He has also moved decisively against the long-time rival and the current first vice president, Riek Machar, placing him under house arrest and detaining several of his allies. Late Wednesday, reports began emerging on social media claiming that Kiir had, in the words of one Kenyan personality, kicked the bucket. South Sudan's foreign ministry issued a statement the following day saying it categorically and strongly denies the false and malicious reports circulating on social media claiming that His Excellency President Salva Kiir Mayardit has passed away. On the sporting arena, the Nationwide League One NLO has expelled Campos FC and A&A Kivia Senos from the Division 1 match fixing allegations. The NLO also suspended all the players of the two teams due to the alleged match compromise. All the match officials involved in the game have all been suspended by the league body. The incident took place in the matchday 6th fixture, where Campos FC defeated A&A Kivia Senos 15-2 at the Oka City Stadium, a scoreline which raised concerns from the public. The NLO disciplinary committee also announced the cancellation of the match. And with that, we've come to the end of news updates on Trust TV. Make sure you follow all our media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news. I am Hawa Adam Kiawa. Thank you for watching.